it's sunny and there's no weather to worry about. Okay, we're exiting off on Chicago Drive. Okay, here we are at East Sales. Oh, and look, the whole team's here to welcome me. It's where it all happens.
Normally Z's doing it all.
Okay, here we are with Craig Pipple, and this is one of Jim's partners here at East Sales.
The most annoying habit is that he sells so much more than all the rest of us. He makes so stinking much money, we're all envious.
Yeah, good to know for the inheritance. What will you miss most when he's retired?
What will I miss most?
Too many things to say?
I don't miss anything at all. I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Matter of fact, who is Jim Zuidema?
What are some of his greatest qualities as a salesman?
His people skills. He can bridge a gap and make a relationship with anybody. Okay, I have seen him talk to the chipmunks outside.
Is Chuck Steenstra. This is another one of the famous partners here at East Sales. So, Craig, what do you... Or, Chuck, sorry, I just called you Craig.
You can ask Craig.
Chuck, tell us, what are some of his... Can you think of some of his most annoying habits here at the office?
I don't think Jim has any annoying habits. I think Mary would attest to the fact, too. I mean, I've known him for 25 plus years, and as long as I've known him, he's probably the most perfect man that I know. In fact, I love him.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. What's the first thing he does when he gets here at the office?
The first thing he does when he gets here at the office? Go to lunch. I like that. Yeah. It's late afternoon, usually. He complains about the drive here.
Yeah.
It's so far
Yeah.
to go.
What happens?
10 minutes.
Tell us what happens if there's snow in the forecast.
I don't know if any of you are privy to Zuidema's trunk, or if any of you girls have ever been there, but I think with his trunk he could survive a blizzard in Alaska for a month. But he never drives in the snow, so
Yeah.
I don't know why he even packs the things.
Okay,
But
okay.
nonetheless, he's prepared. Yeah, no
He's
worries.
prepared.
No
He's like a
worries.
Boy Scout.
No worries.
Okay. Rebecca, Chris, and the infamous Ruth, who is always there to help Jim with the computer. So let's start with you, Ruth. Why don't you tell us about Jim and computers and emails, and how does that work around here? What is Jim? Does he have an email address?
He does have an email address, and I am the email address.
Oh, and why is that?
Well, he does not have a computer.
Okay.
And I always have to laugh when I hear him explaining to his people why his email address is R. Warners and not Z. Zuidema. So, yes.
Yeah, but he so explain his filing system.
His filing system is paper.
Okay.
And he can date
He's
back.
old school.
He's old school, yes.
Copies.
Okay.
Yes, I had to go into his file and found one from 03.
But it was there.
But it was there, and it was exactly what he needed.
And on a day like today, when you guys are all crippled with no power, Big Jim could still work.
He could work.
Yep.
Yep, he would haul his cell phone out, and he would be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's his only modern technology he has here.
You know, I always felt like Jim thought I was the best.
Okay.
And I was his favorite. Because I went to Hillsdale College. But Jim is probably the most cheerful person, and he also hums or whistles or sings.
Yeah.
It often adds a cheerful note.
Oh, that's nice.
Jim always has the best pens.
Oh.
He has a love for pens, so when I want a good pen, I go and see Jim, and he usually gives me a couple.
Okay.
Out of his secret stash.
Oh, so have you ever been known to secretly go in there, or most times ask
Only
for
for
permission?
chocolate.
Oh, chocolate.
Only
Okay.
for chocolate. Yes.
Tell us about this.
Well,
does he
Jim
have a,
likes to monitor my chocolate eating. So see, I go in and he always is. I think he keeps a secret tally of how many times I go into the office for chocolate every day, just to make sure that it's under control.
Hey, Andrew. It's your turn.
It's my turn to talk about Jim?
Yeah.
Well, I'm the most recent hire here at East Sales. So,
Okay.
And my office is closest to Jim. So he takes most of my time during the day,
Okay.
away from my clients. He stands at the edge of my cube and we chat, and I try to turn around and get back to work, but it doesn't stop him. He just keeps talking.
Doesn't get that.
Yeah, a lot of information. But no, Jim's great. We went out and went to a golf outing together, and I've never seen a guy so proud of a 40-yard drive.
Hey, this is Ben, the warehouse chief.
Manager, yes.
Manager, to get it correct. So, Ben, tell us about your relationship with Jim Zuidema.
Well, I've known Jim for many years. I've worked here twice in my life, once when I was a teenager and then once just recently.
Okay.
So I've known Jim throughout the years, and just a great guy, you know.
Yeah.
Proud to say he's one of my friends,
Oh,
as well as my employer.
yeah. So tell us what your day is like working with Jim. What?
Well, I try to do my job, and Jim comes out and distracts me, and we chat, talk politics. That's the only time I ever see him get angry.
So he comes out here how many times a day?
Probably 6 to 15 times a day.
Okay, and is it work related or is it just?
Usually he seems to pace around the office with a cup of coffee, stopping and visiting everyone, and then he makes his way out here. And then quite often he'll come out to empty his trash, and then he'll leave his trash can out here, go back inside, and then I bring him his trash can.
Okay.
Well, I can say every day I come in, and I look forward to seeing Jim.
Okay.
Every day. Love talking to him. He's a great guy. And
What will you miss most about him?
I'm just going to miss talking to him and hanging out with him. Jim's a great guy. You know, I love working with him. Love seeing him every day, and I'm going to miss visiting with him every day when he comes out to the warehouse to distract me from my job.
Jim, truthfully, is a collector of people. Okay, he brings people in. There is an endless stream of people that come in, talk to him. He listens to their stuff. You know, sometimes it's barely rational what these people are saying. Certainly, there's occasional boredom involved there. But Jim is a collector of people, and he shares them generously with all of us.
Yes, he will sit and listen and drink his coffee.
So maybe he could be some sort of counselor or
Absolutely.
in all his spare time after.
What do you think?
Well, if he doesn't give any advice.
Okay, true.
He's been a good partner, and yeah, we've had a lot of good times.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll show up once in a while.
yeah.
We'll keep the pot on.